Silvertongue Rascals, up the Rascals, go on! Nice. How do everyone, what's going on, man? I'm Ben Randm, proud to announce that I am on a new project, which is soon to be your new favourite band, the Silvertongue Rascals. That's right, I'm frontman, songwriter, and here I am to explain how it all started and to get involved and let you know about some of our tunes. So, a lot of you may recognise me from DJing around and about around Manchester, Leeds, various festivals here, there, everywhere. Some of you might even see me at festivals singing absolutely shambolically out of tune to my favourite bands next to you, thinking, how's this guy going to be frontman of a band? Well, obviously it's about presence. But truth be told, we've got some absolute surefire bangers which are going to be dropping New Year's, like early New Year's. Like, what you want to do is follow us on all the socials. Well, not Twitter because that's fucked, but Instagram's where we're mainly at, Silvertongue Rascals. Follow us, our trajectory, our career as we take off, and as I say, soon to become your new favourite band. Now, you're probably thinking, how did I get started in this band? Well, let's have a sip of Sir Jack and get settled down for some story time. So a couple of moons ago, you may remember there was this thing called Lockdown. No, not Akon Lockdown. Do you remember that track? I'm not writing out like that, don't worry. Like, lockdown were a proper thing, wasn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Now in the distant memory, in the rearview mirror of our lives, but for a pronto moment, it was proper there, like, emergency brake, fuck, what do we do? And then as it started lightening up, obviously gigs were about, and I adore gigs. Like, the life and soul of what pulses through my veins is live music in general, but there's something palpable about live music, about being around your friends and also strangers, but having this commonality that you're there to create this atmosphere for music that means something so much to you for different reasons, all unique individual reasons, yet collectively we're there to unleash and celebrate. That's why I love live music, and I love live music settings and festivals. And one of the first things that I wanted to do when lockdown lifted was, of course, go get fucked at a gig. Come on, let's be real. So the first gig that I actually went to was at Cardiff Castle, shout out the Welsh crew, and it was Foals. We bought these tickets back in back end of 2019, and then by the time we got to see him, I think it was 2021. Anyway, I digress. And it were at Cardiff Castle, an amazing setting, but you need to sort out your bars, like, it's crazy. But it was unbelievable, like the set that they did, the fact that it was this cautious excitement. It was like, are we allowed to do this? Are we allowed to be this close to people? Are we, you know, and before you know it, we just ran back into our usual excitement of gigs and just cracked on, do you know what I mean? And it was just good to see almost the shackles of lockdown be lifted from so many people, and the cracks that had been around us just disperse into the atmosphere and be raised by an unbelievable band like the Foals. So that set was sick. We had a naughty afters, which was unbelievable. Shout out to our Foals team, we had that. Anyway, that was like the 12th of August. And by then I'd already had gigs booked in over like the remainder of whatever summer was there. So 2 weeks later, I was going to Victorious Festival down in Southsea, shout out my Southsea heads. That was going to be on the Saturday and the Sunday. The Saturday was headlined by The Streets, and the Sunday was headlined by Chic. Like Mike Skinner and Nile Rodgers are holding such high esteem. And then the Monday was going to be All Points East at Victoria Park for Foals again. So I was meant to be taking a lady friend that we were getting close to Victorious, but she sacked me off. Put that in your noggin for a later video of why a certain tune might have been written. But yeah, she parred me off. So I thought, fuck it, I'm still gonna go down. Like, it's what we do, it's rock and roll, it's what we're about. So I went down, met up with some mates, had the best time ever, just cut loose and just were on one, do you know what I mean? And then on the Monday, I got to London, and I've gone to, as I say, Victoria Park, and Caribou were on, and I absolutely adore Caribou. And there's a track that they've got called Can't Do Without You, which I can't do without you, I can't do without you. And it was just a standout moment. It was like a postcard print in my head of just euphoria, like what they'd done before that set, like playing Sun and remixing out of it, and then like 10-15 minutes later coming back to it, like that just shot all my endorphins off to ecstasy, man. But that Can't Do Without You was a proper moment. And then Foles came on, and like, listen, seeing Foles in 2 weeks, you're probably getting that I'm a bit gassed about Foles, and I do believe at this moment they're the best live band on the planet, and they are my favourite band currently. And to see them after such a long lockdown, to see them twice in 2 weeks, obviously I was giddy, and the London crowd were up for it. Like, now London heads, as you can tell by these dulcet tones, I'm a proud northerner, I'm king at North, mate, bend the knee. Like I am a Bradford mayor and Yorkshire royalty. But when I go down in London, sometimes it can be a bit like standoffish, but this crowd was hype, it were on it. So if you were there, you know exactly what I'm on about. And it was just rowdy. And obviously, I can get too clever for my own good sometimes, and I'd seen them a couple of weeks before, so I was like, you know what I'm gonna do, right? As I feel they're approaching like the encore, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like a bit of a dab, a bit more of a dab, you know what I'm saying? Have a bit of a drop of a did and that, and then just like come up. So when the encore's on, I'm just flying, and it'll just be heaven. And I'm gonna sing Westlife Flying Without Wings then. But that is literally how I would be. So anyway, I've done this, like proper masterstroke in my head, like, yeah, go on, boys. Mate, they didn't even do an interval. They just cracked straight through. Like, it wasn't even like a break for an encore. They just went straight through, played straight through. So by the time they finished, I was coming up. Like, honestly, my eyes were like washing machine, mate. Like, you know, when it's spinning, honestly, I was gone till November, mate. Wyclef Jean, you need to copyright that one for me, bruv, because I was spent, I was gone. So I was like, all right, like, I'm just getting like tucked into this now. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's go about. Remember, it's Bank Holiday Monday, yeah? And everybody that I knew were there. I'd work on Tuesday. It's like, what you want about? It's Bank Holiday. It's like, yeah, but it's Bank Holiday Monday, we've got work. So I lovingly and affectionately called them, which I still to this day do, called them Tuesday tossers. It's like, give up your Tuesday tossers. What you doing? Like, just come on, man, we're here, you know what I mean? We've been locked up for fucking 2 years. Like, let's get on it. It didn't work. They were going back to where they were staying, and they weren't having an after. So I was like, well, I'm not just gonna like be spooning myself on your couch, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm here to fucking tear this capital up, let's see what's about. So like, what, you're just gonna go off by yourself? It's like, yeah, it's rock and roll, it's what we do, it's our thing, man. So Liam Gallagher's shoulders came back, I'd struck, and then I mean, just like, that's it. Bounced out of Victoria Park, mate, I'm telling you, I bounced out of that park just looking for some like naughty carnage, yeah? So I'm still goose at this point, still like got jibber jabber jar and eyes swirling all around, and I put Spotify, put forward to me here with Spotify playing Caribou Can't Do Without You, and I'm just singing like, I can't do without you. But it sounded like I had an echo effect on because my jaw was jibber jabbering that much. So it's like, I can't do without you. So I'm on about streams and streams, like thousands of people walking past, just joining in, singing and that. The next minute, there's like these couple Irish brothers that just like walk past, and they're like, clock what song it is, and they're like, oh man, like, we didn't get to see Caribou, we saw Bombay Bicycle, like, our Caribou were the sick. I was like, bruv, like, it was unbelievable, it were emphatic, do you know what I mean? 5-10 minutes later, being a spiritual brother that I am, I knew that I knew these souls from a previous life. Now, you might say that's the narcotics, it might have played its part, whatever it was, there were a kinship that were born there straight away, and I was like, you know what, like, I'm coming to Dublin to see you boys because there's a level here, and it's just like, fuck it, like, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, well, what are you doing now? So I told them about the Tuesday tossers, and they were like, nah, fuck that, man. Come round London with us. So we did, man. We just went around Dalston, went around all the bars that were open, because London, you call yourself a capital, a metropolis of the fucking world, and you shut at 2, not even 2, like 12:30 on a Monday. Give up, man. Leeds knows how to party, Manny knows how to party. You're shooting at 12:30, have a word. But anyway, we ripped it up, like shotting tequila here, there, everywhere, just living the life, man, do you know what I mean? Went back, had a good afters, one of them wet neighbours were bang going, turn music down. You're probably thinking, what tune will they tell us to turn down? It was Police, Message in a Bottle, and if you think that's not a banger, you're criminal in your own mind. But yeah, man, we just had a good sesh, and like, you know when you've had those afters where you're like, you know, just like that were pivotal to like the next journey of where it is. Because going back to live music and clubbing settings, I'm a massive believer that epiphanies happen on the dance floor. Like, you have some of the most profound moments and realizations, or you can do if you're open to that experience on the dance floor. That's why it's so magical. That's why it's so unique, and why we crave and go after that, but also we long and belong to it as well. And this afters, it was just a special like kinship that were formed. There was a brotherhood there, and I didn't think of it in sense of anything would come from it. I was just like, yo man, that was sick. I'm grateful I've met some new mates, you know what I mean? Some boys went over to Dublin and just like chill over there and shit. So anyway, a couple days later, I'd added one of the boys, Cillian, on Insta, and as I've gone on to Insta, I've seen his profile picture is a guitar and a MacBook, and I'm like, all right, this is sick. Because I've been writing music for the best part of maybe 6-7 years maybe, but because most people know that I do stand-up, or, you know, I'm a creative writer, so that's where a lot of the music and lyrics come into play. But because I do stand-up, or because I DJ, I've always had imposter syndrome with the music, where I've been around my creative musical friends, and I've been in a studio or a proximity with them where that's their lane, do you know what I mean? And I've always felt like I couldn't maybe open up and share a lot of the ideas that I wanted to, so it's always prevented that freedom. Whereas there's something about this meeting with Cillian where we'd gone in already at like such a rock and roll level. It was like, you know what, I feel like I can present myself as who I believe I am as a songwriter in this capacity, and obviously explain the idea behind the project, which is to be social commentary for the underprivileged, but also to rejoice in the ecstasy and the moments in life that might seem fleeting, but as a unit, as a unison, as a collective, as a community, we can overcome such shitty settings to lead a better society. I really believe that. I believe like that's what I feel in these lyrics can be felt and attained as a social commentator. So when I've approached him and I've expressed like the ideology of what this music's gonna be, he was straight on board, and something just unlocked in my head, and before you knew it, in a space of 2 weeks, I'd written 18 tracks. And from there, you know, he lives Dublin, I live Leeds. How we've been forming the music is I'll write tracks, come up with a bit of a melody, send it him, he'll come back with like certain bits, and we've just been going back and forth. And I've been fortunate to go over to Dublin so that we can like work on more of the album tracks as well and stuff. And then in-house over in Leeds, shout out to my boy Brander. He's not part of the band, but he's part of the band, but he tries to fuck about like he's not, but he is. But like, he's just a world-class producer, like, and I'm just so privileged that he's one of my boys, and I've been able to have that freedom to express my ideas, and he's never ruled one out in a sense that it's worth trying. And because of that, the music that we've been able to create is it's a mix of indie, hip-hop, spoken word, electro, house, psychedelic. It's all these influences, but we've interweaved into one cohesive, beautiful blending sound. So like it sounds experimental, but it sounds viable, it sounds accessible, you know, it's bangers, it's stuff that we want people to be able to dance to, connect to and vibe to, and that is what Silverton's Rascals are. So from the new year, we'll be dropping an EP. The EP will be called Fellas on a London Sesh, because obviously that's how me and Cillian met. We were on a London Sesh, but also if you work out the acronym of that, FOALS, Fellas on a London Sesh, is Falls. So it's a nod to how we met, seeing Falls in London on a sesh. And if you love that wordplay, you're gonna love the wordplay of the tracks. So make sure you follow us on all our socials, Silverton's Rascals. We're gonna be on Instagram, we're gonna be on YouTube, we're gonna be releasing our music obviously through all the viable playlists and Spotify's, your Apples out there, and Bandcamp, and trust me, if you have seen me DJ, if you've been around me at any live setting, just imagine what I'm gonna be like when I'm on stage, giving you what we've created. We're here to make a difference, and trust me, we're here to be your new favourite band. So up the Rascals, this is your boy Ben Randm, and check the other videos because I'm gonna go into a bit more details about the tracks. Peace and light, man. Enjoy the world.